Stay focused. Don't listen to
23, 26. That's a pretty intense transformation in 3 years, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. 3 years? Bro, I feel like I'm not that far off from bro right here. You're trying to tell me in 3 years, naturally, that I can look like this? Bro. Shit, nigga, let me sign up for the fucking weightlifting plan, nigga. Goddamn, let me get on that shit. I'm a believer now. Ashton Hall, Natty or not? Video by Coach Greg Doucette. I don't know. This video is actually 2 years old, but I think it's more relevant than ever because unless you live under a rock, you've seen this guy, this dude who has gone viral for his insane morning routine. And it is my belief that one of the major driving factors for his recent viral success is, of course, his physique. And so I think this topic is more relevant than ever because I assure you that if this man amasses a large following of young men who want to follow him and do whatever he says they should do to be successful and attract women and all the other stereotypical cliche alpha male shit, a big driving factor to why people will look at him as an authority is his physique. And I haven't looked into it, but I'm willing to bet that he is probably saying that he's natural.
So yeah, I'm 100% natty. A lot of people aren't going to believe it.
So let's go ahead and break down this video because even back here 2 years ago, he had a crazy physique. So let's dive in.
It says you can, you will. Only thing is you can't and you won't. And why? Because you're not on PD.
So he's been doing this for a while. This video is 2 years old, man.
Coach Greg, in today's video, a natty or not on none other than Ashton Hall official. Guy has 1.7 million.
So he had 1.7 million followers 2 years ago. Bro's been doing this for a while.
Followers on Instagram and has an incredible physique. And so it begs to reason, or is this guy just trying to do people? Or as the commenters say that I'm going to say, guy just has elite level genetics. Looking at his physique, I see no outward signs of PD use. He does not have acne, skin looks great, hasn't lost hair, doesn't have overdeveloped traps and delts, as many people think are signs of steroid use, when they're actually not. And he's not super dry and not overly vascular. Is that proof that the guy's natural? Of course not. And so he seems to maintain a year-round condition somewhere between 8 and 9% body fat. That is truly remarkable. The guy has a ton of size. And so why would anyone think this guy isn't natural? He has no outward signs of using steroids, except for the fact the guy looks like a pro bodybuilder. But is it because of his elite level genetics and the way he trains? After all, 8-time Mr. Olympia champion Ronnie Coleman, he was able to build a physique even better than this while natural. The guy turned pro as a natty. He then went on PDs and became one of the best, if not the best bodybuilder of all time. And so let's first look back.
That is true.
Was this guy built when he was younger? How did he do?
Stay focused. Don't listen to
23, 26. That's a pretty intense transformation in 3 years, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. 3 years? Shit, let me look. I feel like I don't look that much different from right here. This bro right here? You telling me I can make that kind of transformation in 3 years, bro? Hold on. Bro, I feel like I'm not that far off from bro right here. You're trying to tell me in 3 years, naturally, that I can look like this? Bro. Shit, nigga, let me sign up for the fucking weightlifting plan, nigga. Goddamn, let me get on that shit. I'm a believer now.
183 pounds. Look at this guy's physique.
Shit.
Clearly, the hard work has paid off. And so it goes without saying, this guy, he does in fact have elite level genetics, better than 99% of the population. 183 pounds 3 years ago. 35 pounds later, life suddenly changed for me. Who's with me? And so after already acquiring all those newbie gains, when it's in fact possible to gain a ton of muscle early in your lifting career, he then suddenly puts on 36 pounds of muscle in 3 years. All while staying shredded. And arguably, it may have been more than 35 pounds of muscle. He looks to have gotten even leaner 3 years later than he was at the beginning. How is it possible to suddenly put on this much muscle, this much size, later on in your lifting career? Had you first joined the gym at age 23, had hardly any muscle, and put on a ton, well, that would make sense. You have great genetics coupled with newbie gains, and bammo, you put on a ton of muscle. But this was done later in his lifting career, and so it stands to reason that the sudden change was probably the result of using PEDs.
Yeah.
But we can't conclude the guy's on PEDs as of yet. Let's look at his workouts. And so let's see, how does he exactly tell people to train, and how does he train? Burn up to 500 calories in under 20 minutes. Really? And so to do that, you have to average over 416 watts. And in case you don't know just how impressive that is, I can't even come close to doing that. And I've been training, sprinting, riding bikes for over 4 years, and I'm competing at a high level. 416 watts, or about 500 calories in 20 minutes. The best cardiovascular athletes in the world, yes, they can do it. But not doing this. Flailing around the gym, jumping, hopping around. You're not burning 500 calories in 20 minutes. For the most part, average person.
And you're definitely not getting big as a freaking barn house. Why am I saying freaking? A fucking house, bro. You're not getting built like a brick house doing your little Pilates, bro. That ain't.
If you're lucky.
It's because we reacted to that church video. I still got it in me, man. We reacted to that Christian video. It's
perhaps 200, not 500. I must stress to you guys how promised results will be from having structured program designs for you. It's a game changer. And honestly, how I've managed to build my physique the way I have over the years. Really? And so you built that incredible physique, jumping around, doing toe touches, planks, burpees, and so on. That's your secret? Hit cardio? Really? It only takes 90 days for a full transformation. Ashton's found the secret. Jump around, hit cardio, 20 minutes, 500 calories. You're going to get shredded, build 36 pounds of muscle. It's guaranteed. No problem. You all can do it. And so the problem is, it says you can, you will. Only thing is, you can't and you won't. And why? Because you're not on PDs. And even with the PDs, perhaps 99% of you will not get these results. And so just because your favorite fitness influencer, who seems to run almost as fast as Ben Johnson, but twice the size of Ben, and Ben failed for PDs, just because he says something doesn't mean it's true. People want to know how I went from 25% body fat to 9%, and all the while adding 20 pounds of muscle in 1 year. Steroids. We know it's steroids.
Yeah.
Think of it. Do you really think a guy who has this much experience, who's not a newbie, is going to suddenly go from 25% body fat to 9 while adding 20 pounds of muscle?
It's not happening.
In a year. And so what really shocked me is that people can't see right through this. You really think this guy dropped 17...
This right here, even if he had elite genetics, this tells me all I need to know. If this is the workout program he's pushing, you don't build muscle like this, bro. You got to lift weights. You got to lift heavy weights. You got to push to failure on a regular basis, or at least come close to failure on a regular basis. You're not going to be flailing around and doing all this. And look, yes, can you build a crazy body with calisthenics? But that's not what he's pushing right here. This is Pilates, nigga. This is cardio. This ain't doing 100 pull-ups. This isn't doing 200 push-ups in a day. This is not doing weighted dips. This is, YMCA type shit, bro. You're not building big muscles like this.
10% body fat, all the while adding 20 pounds of muscle while being natural, doing toe touches, jumps, and hit cardio? And do you really think that's how he really trains in the real world? He looks like Superman chasing a train. He looks like Ben Johnson, only with double the muscle and more athletic, faster than half the guys in the NFL.
Insane.
All while doing hit cardio? Really?
Yeah.
Hit, jumping around, burning 500 calories. But no, I promise, that's how I built my physique. And so what are my conclusions? My conclusions are this. I believe the guy was natural up to the age of 23 and developed a world-class physique. and then decided, hey, I want to push my physique to the next level. I'm going to go on PDs, not tell anyone about it. I'm going to make a mind-blowing transformation. I'm going to go from 25% to 9% in 6 months while adding 20 pounds of muscle in a year. And I'll keep it going, and in 3 years goes from 183 to 218 pounds while staying shredded the entire time. And not only that, actually getting leaner. And so if you think this guy's natural, well, you're probably in the 5% of people who also thought the Liver King was natural. Perhaps you're Paul Salentino.
Didn't you know, Paul, about the steroid use? The answer is no.
Are you really that gullible? Hopefully not.
So that's the situation, man. 2 years ago, it was very evident, very clear that this Ashton Hall guy is certainly on the juice. So if by some means you get sucked into that pipeline and thinking that this guy actually knows what he's talking about, you are not going to get in his shape doing his little jumping jacks, hit cardio routine. And even if you train hard and heavy in the gym, you still won't get his physique unless you're like the top 0.5% of genetics when it comes to bodybuilding. You're like a Ronnie Coleman. At which point you should probably consider getting on gear and performing for, entering into Mr. Olympia, because you'd be a generational talent. So like so many of these other fitness influencers that are trying to sell you bullshit, they're on the juice, man. They're on the sauce. And Ashton Hall is no different. Now, before you go, there's something I want you to do for me. My dad, yes, my father, Dr. Don C. Hines, PhD. This is my dad. He sits on the board of a hospital. The name of the hospital is Harmony Healthcare, Long Island. And he does it as a way to give back to the community. And this hospital is currently in a competition to win grant money from the government, money that will then be used to give discounts to lower income families who do not have health insurance. All you have to do to help us win this competition is go to this link I have put in the description. It will take you to a website called woobox.com, and you're just going to select this hospital, Harmony Healthcare, Long Island. I'm going to go ahead and select that, and then you enter in your first name, your last name, and a unique email address. So I am just going to enter in one of my email addresses. Now, be assured you will not be contacted and your address will not be saved. Don't worry about junk mail or spam. This is only for the sake of making sure that you are a unique individual. And then you submit your vote. And you can vote every day until March 31st. If you want to help me, help my dad, that would mean a lot to me. I know it will mean a lot to him. So go ahead. It'll only take you, as you can see, literally not even 30 seconds to do. Go ahead. It won't cost you a dime. And there are going to be people who will greatly benefit from your taking this time to do this. All right, guys. Thank you. That's it.